mutual funds. This is Jamieson. I'm going to be your host this evening. I'm really happy to have you guys aboard. And really what this presentation is a overview of really what the Wealth Without Stocks or Mutual Funds program is all about, and why we're setting the financial community on its ear by showing people so many different ways on how to actually make their money grow, and none of which involve the stock market. Now, I want to make it clear I'm not anti-stock market. We're going to go through this presentation. I'm going to show you how I think you could use the stock market. I'm just anti having all your eggs in one basket, and I'm anti people not giving you more information that you can go out there and actually actively manage your money and your income and grow wealth, because you can do it. It'll just take a little bit of information. And this book and this whole program is loaded with information on how you can create wealth and additional income without having to use the stock market. Once again, my name is Jamieson. Really excited to have you guys here. I am the author of Wealth Without Stocks or Mutual Funds. I'm also the author of the #1 bestseller, The Perpetual Wealth System. I've been in business about 25 years as a business owner and an investor. I've been fortunate. I've spoken all over the country to thousands of people, and frankly, all over North America. I've spoken in every major city in Canada as well. And I've had a chance to train thousands of people on how to create wealth, and I'm really excited about it. It's my passion. I think that'll come through in this particular training. And from those experiences, I just knew that there was all kinds of ways that people were totally unaware of how they can actually go out and magnify their wealth and do it safely and securely, and really just bring all kinds of other things to the table to help you create wealth that you're not getting from the traditional financial world. I've been involved with many millions of dollars of financial transactions, real estate transactions, so I'm qualified to teach this tonight. This is what I've been doing basically for 25 years, and I've made a lot of money with it. I've also lost some money, which I'm going to be able to tell you about, because losing money is not a good thing, but sometimes it's necessary because it brings you back down to earth, and it also lets you examine where you made mistakes. So if I made those mistakes and I've already made them, you can learn from my mistakes. And anytime you can learn from somebody's successes and their mistakes, that's a great way to get ahead in life. So why this book? Why this system? I was in New York about 6 months ago, and I was giving a presentation to the media on why they should cover me and why they should cover my first book and what we do for people. And out of the blue, I basically just told the gentleman that I taught people how to create wealth without stocks or mutual funds. And he was fascinated by that, as were others. And it dawned on me that that's really what I do. I had never positioned it that way before. And the idea came to me, and within 3 days, I had the trademark getting handled by my attorney, I had the domain names purchased, and I had this in the works. I wanted to bring this to market. And after writing my first book and knowing what a project that was, I knew this was going to be a bigger project, for the simple fact that there's a lot more information in this book. So it took longer. There's more moving parts to it. But I'm really proud of it, and I know it's going to help a lot of people out there. Basically, guys, the stock market has been entrenched in our minds for decades. I mean, you look at your phone, it'll tell you what the stock market's doing. You turn on any number of television shows, it'll tell you if the market's up or down. If you watch financial shows on TV, almost that's all they'll ever talk about is stocks and companies and earnings and reports and forecasts. So many of us have been brought up to believe that that's really the only place we can put our money. If we want a decent return, it has to be in the stock market. So traditional financial professionals will discuss, putting 90% of your money in the market and 10% in bonds, or some portion thereof. And I'm sure you've seen a pie chart like this before. I've seen this pie chart because I've been on the opposite end of the table from traditional financial advisors a lot of times, and I have nothing against them. I just know that they don't have enough information to bring other things into the fold, like you're going to learn how to do with Wealth Without Stocks. So this might be something, they're going to look at this and say, this is a balanced portfolio for you. You've got a certain percentage in big caps, small caps, international, blue chips. You got some in bonds. That's a diversified portfolio. That's what they're going to tell you. Guys, what you're looking at there is called modern portfolio theory, and it's not so modern anymore. This concept came up in the 50s, when information sometimes took days or weeks to get from one side of the world to the other. And this whole concept of a diverse portfolio with what you see in front of you came about during those times. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you were going to have heart surgery, do you want that same technology that they had back in the 50s? Or do you want the absolute up-to-date information that you can use to save your life? Well, it's the same analogy, but it goes back to this is money. We don't want to use the same things that we were taught in the 50s and 60s because the financial markets have totally changed. They don't even resemble what they used to be in the 1950s and 1960s. This is the information age, and with it brings all kinds of opportunity, but it also brings all kinds of false information and everybody with an opinion. So you're only going to get rock solid, true to life information tonight. And what I'm here to share with you That pie chart you see in front of you, I don't care what percentages you assign to it, because depending on your age, they might give you a different percentage of big caps, different percentage of small caps. I don't care what percentage they tell you. This is not a balanced portfolio. This is all of your eggs in one basket. The basket might have a couple different colors to it, a couple different names, but you're basically in the same asset class. And the old theory of, well, if I have some international funds or international stocks, they might not get hurt when the domestic stocks get hurt. Well, guys, everything's interconnected. So when you watch the stock market and you hear people talking on television, they'll say, boy, that went up in sympathy or down in sympathy. Well, that happens all the time. When there's an old saying, it's not so old anymore, it's a relatively new saying, but when the United States sneezes, everybody else catches cold. And the same could be said for when China sneezes, or when Hong Kong, or when Europe sneezes. We get a cold. So everything is interconnected now, and the diversification you think you have inside your portfolio simply is a myth. It doesn't exist. So that begs the question, are there other places to grow wealth? What else could I do to get ahead for me and my family? Talked about modern portfolio theory. There's nothing modern about it. And really all you're going to get in the traditional financial world is stocks, bonds, mutual funds. Oh my. Stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. Oh my. And they're going to continue to teach that and segment your money into different stock, bonds, and stock and bonds and mutual fund series. That's what they're going to do. And if you're comfortable with that, then this isn't the place for you. But if you're really looking to truly diversify and really have an opportunity to own different asset classes and do it with education and do it with as much positive things working for you as possible, you're absolutely in the right spot tonight, and you're going to want to own this book for sure. So here's an example of what I believe is a true balanced portfolio. All right, now, again, I just took this, pulled it out of the sky as far as percentages and how big the graph is. So this would all change based on your age, based on what kind of assets you really want to own, how active do you want to be with your investments or your businesses. That's all going to change as to how much the right ownership would be. But you might have some stocks and bonds. You might have some real estate income. You might be doing some real estate flips, which you're going to learn how to do, which are very easy to do, but you have to have some education. I'm going to show you how to dramatically reduce your debt load. See, guys, if you can pay off your mortgage or any other debts quicker, that adds to your net worth. And it's what I call one of the 7 gears of wealth that we're going to talk about tonight. And there's really some unique ways, some 21st century ways to pay down your debt much faster than you ever thought possible. You might have a good portion in guaranteed income. What's guaranteed income? We're going to talk more about it shortly. But basically, it's money that you can count on, the for sure money, month after month after month and year after year after year. And you also might develop some equity in a business. Now, you've heard of people starting a business and selling it out for multi-million dollars years later. Well, you know what? All of those businesses started from a tabletop, almost all of them. And so your business can start from a tabletop as well. And in the 21st century, it's actually much easier than it ever has been to get a business launched and to build equity and net worth inside that business. So let's talk about what I call the cost of easy. There's a reason that 401ks and IRAs that go into the stock market are by far the most widely held assets and the most popular savings program for retirement. It's because it's very simple. You walk into your new job, you fill out some HR paperwork. Oh, you want to participate in our 401k? It's great. We have a match or we don't have a match, but you need to start saving for retirement. Sign here. What kind of investor are you? Aggressive? Nobody knows. And you check off whatever boxes. Next thing you know, they're taking money out of your paycheck, and it's getting put away for retirement. So you're blindly giving up money going into qualified plans. A qualified plan is a 401k, IRA, 403b, Roth IRA, simple IRA. Those are all called qualified plans. Then those funds that go inside those qualified plans go blindly into the stock market, so you can turn your money over to be professionally managed by somebody else. Now, again, there's probably a place in your life for some of this. There's nothing particularly wrong with it, but it's certainly not the only game in town. There's all kinds of other avenues available to you to create income and to create wealth. But the best thing that can be said about that particular plan I just laid out, it's simple. It's easy. It needs no specific information. It needs no specialized knowledge. It's easy, convenient, and can be extremely expensive. And I don't necessarily mean expensive as far as fees go, although you will pay fees in those plans, and they can add up. But it also could be for all kinds of lost money, lost in the market. It can be for money that could have been gained somewhere else that you never got. It's called opportunity cost. So there is a cost of doing things very simple and very easy. The good part is you're putting some kind of money away, which is better than nothing, but you're doing it blindly. You have no specialized knowledge, and you're at the market's mercy. and it does not need to be that way with the bulk of your money. There's all kinds of other avenues we're going to talk about. Dozens of other alternatives. Some of those are going to require specialized knowledge. A lot of that you're going to get in the book, and you might get in some additional trainings with us. You might get in some live events, some presentations that we give. So some of them will require specialized knowledge. Is it worth it to get? Well, you tell me. If you could spend some hours and some time and maybe turn off so-called reality TV for an hour a night, and for the next year commit yourself to really understanding how money and wealth and different things we're going to launch tonight, we're going to show you tonight, how you could learn these things and actually make money in your own backyard and be in control of much of your wealth. To me, I always found it was worth it for that specialized knowledge. It's going to require a different belief system. Some people are going to tell you you're crazy, you're nuts, you don't know what you're doing. You should always load up that 401k because, boy, you get a match, and that's the greatest thing ever. Poppycock. 401ks are designed to keep your money tied up. If you get a match, great, but I'm just here to tell you there's all kinds of other things you could be doing with your money other than the standard 401k. Now, some of these things you could be doing are ridiculously easy. A software program will tell you how to do, and it exactly tell you when to shift how much money to create wealth. That's not the norm, but we do have some very simple programs like that as well. You can and you should be in charge of your own wealth, because you might as well get this straight. There's not anybody in this world that cares about your money more than you, contrary to what they might tell you. All right, so traditional financial planners, a lot of them are, in fact, most of them are hard workers. They're knowledgeable in what they're knowledgeable in, but sometimes it's what you don't know that can get you hurt. And you're going to have a much more well-rounded base of information on how to grow and protect wealth than even your registered financial advisors will have. All right? So don't ever believe the myth that you're not qualified. That's what the government's trying to tell us now. They want to change all kinds of things and make it so you got to have this and you got to have that to be able to manage any kind of money for yourself. And that's ridiculous. People have been creating their own wealth for generations, and you're just going to need a little bit of specialized knowledge. And that's why you're here with this presentation. That's why you're going to buy the book Wealth Without Stocks or Mutual Funds. That's why you're going to work with our company, because we have a lot of that specialized knowledge that you're looking for. So tonight we're going to talk about the 11 pillars of wealth. You can master these 11 pillars of wealth. You're going to grow wealthy faster. You're going to have many more options. You're going to have increased income. You're going to be able to retire earlier and with far more assets and more choices during your retirement. Those 11 pillars, I break them up into two different areas. One is 4 massive wealth drains. We're going to talk about that. 4 areas that you're giving your money away needlessly month after month. Most of the time you don't even know you're doing it. And if we can plug these 4 wealth drains, or at least slow them down, you're automatically going to create more wealth, because more money is going to stay in your money bucket as opposed to just getting drained out with these 4 wealth drains. And with those 4 wealth drains, once we have those plugged up or slowed down, we can focus on what I call the 7 gears of wealth. We can redirect money to our 7 gears of wealth and build a top-notch, rock-solid financial plan that nobody else is going to be able to touch. Right? This simple system of getting these 11 pillars in order, absolutely, it'll guarantee your financial success. If you can master these 11, and some of them are very easy, you're going to have a rock-solid financial fortress that's going to be almost impossible to blow down. So investing success is not as difficult as you've been led to believe. It does require some inside information, but the truth is, investing is only one of the pillars of wealth. There's a whole other 10 that really have nothing to do with investing, and you're going to understand that more after this presentation tonight. So understand that there's all kinds of other things available to you, and I think you're going to be excited when you see just what's possible. So let's talk about specifically the 4 massive wealth drains. Number 1 is income taxes. 2 is interest and fees that we pay to banks. Tons of money there. How about money that we've lost in either market losses because we had our money somewhere that the market went down, or depreciation on all purchases? What about cars? How much money do you lose in cars in your lifetime? Did you know the average American will spend, which means lose, more money on automobiles than they're ever able to put away for retirement? So we can show you some strategies on how to stop those 4 wealth drains, slow them down, and eventually stop them. Would you have more money? Yes or yes? Of course, you're going to have more money, because if less of it is leaving your life, you get to keep more. The old penny saved is a penny earned. Well, if a penny saved is a penny earned, then $10,000 saved is certainly $10,000 earned. It's actually even more than that. To save $10,000, you got to earn about $15,000 or $16,000 because you're paying taxes, which is one of your wealth drains. So we're going to talk intimately about all 4 of those in this presentation. Then we've got the 7 gears of wealth. And boy, when these gears are balanced and they're working together, they are absolutely awesome. But the problem is very few people even know about the 7 gears. And if they are using these, they might be using 2 or 3 of them, which is causing all the other ones either not to operate properly, operate out of balance, or not operate at all. So those 7 gears are income. We have to have enough income coming in our lives, otherwise life is tough. You know, you're worried every night, can you make the bills this month? You're going into debt. We don't need to do that. We need to get our income up if that's what we need to do. A lot of you already have great income, but you're just not using it properly. One of the 7 gears, investments. Investments is anything that can go up or down. We're going to talk about that. How about liquidity? Cash on hand for emergencies. I've seen so many people that have so much money tied up in investments that if an emergency comes, they've got to get that money. And if they've got that, sell that investment at a loss, or they've got to pay penalties for early withdrawal, those kind of things. You need to have some liquid money, and yet you want that liquid money to be able to work for you. We've got strategies to do that. Guaranteed income. That's different than regular income. Regular income is going to be from a job or a business. Guaranteed income is going to be after the fact that we don't want to work that much anymore. We need income coming off our assets. We need income coming off maybe a business that we sold, maybe a business that we built that we're still generating revenue from, Social Security, all kinds of, we're going to talk more about that. Long-term care is the only gear that, left unchecked, can ruin all your other gears. It'll cannibalize all your other gears. It'll cannibalize your legacy, your cash. And you know what most people's plan is for dealing with long-term care? They don't have one. It's a wish. It's a hope. I hope I don't get sick. I hope I don't need someone to come and take care of me. I hope I don't have to move into a facility. You know, they'll tell their family, just kill me. I don't want to go into those facilities. Well, we know that people by the truckloads are going into long-term care facilities, and it's expensive. So you need to have a plan to deal with the if it happens. If it doesn't happen, you're all the better, but we want to make sure that that one gear doesn't kill everything else. Debt. So much debt running around in this country, and we've got a great solution on how to pay debt off in record time. And if you're not bogged down in debt, guess what you can do for those with those payments that are going out to lending institutions? You can build your own wealth and do it rapidly. And the last gear is legacy. What do you want to leave behind? Not just money, but it could be money, assets, education for your family, showing them, you know, passing on what we're passing to you, and really creating a movement that's going to be generations deep, and showing people how to take control of their own money and really create wealth. So between the 4 wealth drains and the 7 gears of wealth, you're really going to be in for a phenomenal life when it comes to money. So let's go back. Taxes. All right, that's the first of the 4 wealth drains. That system is absolutely set up to favor business owners. We have a whole chapter in the book that I had a tax professional that's been showing people how to reduce taxes for over 20 years. He contributed to the chapter in the book. So for now, what you need to know is the tax system favors business owners, and it does not favor employees. And you can be both. You can have your own small business, and you can also be an employee. And if you have a small business, you qualify for all kinds of deductions that the person who's an employee doesn't. And the biggest single expense people have is going to be taxes, and yet people have no idea how the tax system works. They think, well, I'll just take my information to my CPA, I'll take it to my tax preparer, and that's what I do for taxes. That's my tax planning. That is not tax planning. It's nowhere near tax planning. Remember, nobody's going to care about your money more than you, and nobody's going to care about the taxes you pay more than you, certainly not your CPA or tax preparer. They're a professional, but they're only as good as the information you give them. So you need to get educated on how to make your life as tax deductible as possible. We teach you step-by-step how to do that with Wealth Without Stocks or mutual funds. Now, if you're already a successful business owner, and you're taking as many deductions as you can, and you're still paying over $150,000 in income taxes, it's only going to be a small percentage of businesses. We've got a business strategy designed for you that can actually probably save you about 50% of those income taxes if you qualify. And it's legal, it's ethical, it's been looked at by the IRS. And so if you happen to fall in that small category, I thought it was worth mentioning that the company that we work with that's been doing this has been doing it since 1998. They set up hundreds of these programs. It's been looked at by federal government, by some state governments, and no changes have ever been made. So if you fall into that small group, reach out to us. This will be the most important presentation you've ever seen. Second wealth drain, interest and fees paid to banks. Guys, if you don't think this is big, why don't you just add up all the payments you've paid over your lifetime to lending institutions on anything you've ever bought? Add up your car payments, house payments, student loans, business loans, credit card payments, everything, motorcycle payments, boat payments. Add it all up. And then whatever that figure is, double it, because that means by giving up control of your money and giving it to lending institutions, you lost all the growth that money could have provided. So whatever that figure is, and it's going to be a big figure, compare that figure to the amount of money you have saved up for retirement. And tell me which one's bigger. Yeah, the money paid to banks. So banks have been around for thousands of years. Ladies and gentlemen, any business model that's been around for thousands of years is a good business model. Our problem is we've, up until now, have only been trained how to be the borrower. No one's ever taught you how to be the lender. Wealth Without Stocks is going to teach you at length how to be a lender to yourself, and how to safely loan money to other people and businesses to create revenue and to create wealth. So interest and fees paid to banks, we're going to show you how to dramatically slow down that wealth drain and maybe eliminate it. Market losses. How much money would you have today if you never lost any money in the market? It's now, of course, everyone's different ages and different situations who's listening to this. But assume you went through the dot-com bubble back in the late 90s. Assume you went through the September 11th bubble in the early 2000s. Then assume you went through 07 and 08 when things just got decimated in the stock market. If you're lucky, that money's back, and maybe you've even grown it some. But guys, that's about 15 years of no growth or very little growth. Market losses can be devastating, and they can be devastating depending on when they happen. If they happen during your retirement years or even within 5 or 10 years of the time you want to retire, it can absolutely wipe out your retirement plan. And you do not have to have your money in anything that can go down by 30, 40, 50, 60% in retirement or prior to retirement. So there's little known investment vehicles that we talk a lot about inside Wealth Without Stocks or mutual funds that can protect those funds and make sure they grow year after year after year. So guys, if your money just went forward every year and never went backwards, you're going to have more money at the end of your lifetime or even during your lifetime to live on and prosper and really have options in your life. Fourth wealth drain is something nobody talks about because, frankly, almost nobody besides us has a solution for it. Depreciation is, so you bought a car and you bought it for $25,000, let's just say for the sake of example, new or used. You're better off to buy it used, of course, because the depreciation, a lot of it's out in the early years is the higher depreciation. But no matter what you buy a $25,000 car, 5 years from now it's worth $5,000. All right, you've paid back your $25,000 loan possibly, I hope, at least by 5 years. So you've paid out $25,000. You probably paid another $3,000 or $4,000 in interest. So you paid out $28,000. You've got a $5,000 asset to show for it, and it's going down every day. And then you know what? When that car gets a little old, what are you going to do? You're going to repeat the insanity. You're going to redo that process again and again and again. And you'll lose hundreds of thousands of dollars on automobiles without batting an eye, not even giving it a second thought, because nobody told you that you actually could make money on an automobile. You absolutely can. We'll walk you through it step by step right inside of Wealth Without Stocks or mutual funds. So if you can take these big depreciating assets and actually not suffer the depreciation or structure a plan to recapture that depreciation, you're going to have way more money than you're currently on pace to have. Let's talk about the 7 gears of wealth. Income. We give all kinds of strategies in this book how to make extra income. But if you really believe in what we're doing, once you study it and you read that book, and you want to bring this message to other people, we've got a system that you can actually set up a whole other revenue stream by working with our company. All right, we talk more about it in the book, but you could become a referral agent for us. And yes, there will be some licensing, but don't think that you can't get a license to do this. It's not that difficult. There's all kinds of people all over the country that already have proper licensing, and if you don't, you can get licensed. All right, we can help you with that. And then from there, you would lend out, give out. You can even resell our book because you can buy it in bulk for a fraction of its cover price. But you're not going to make a ton of money on the book. Your main thing is to use that book as a tool, because we will do almost all of the explanation and the education of these particular products inside that book, and then we'll even do it after the fact with people that you send to us. We'll handle it all. And when people do things with us, if you're properly licensed, some things require a license, some things don't, we can actually generate a whole revenue stream for you, and it can be a significant revenue stream. Okay, also inside the book, I'm going to show you how you can get in the real estate market and do what I call flip a house. That's really called flipping an upside-down house. What does upside down mean? Properties that realistically have no equity, little equity, or they're even upside down. They've got negative equity. There's a huge market out there, and you can actually flip those with no money, no job, no credit. You're going to need a little experience, but you're going to get that in the book. And if I had to start all over again from scratch, I would be out there taking advantage of that particular strategy, because you can create really nice paychecks, talking $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, depending on the marketplace that you're in, on every deal that you do. And you can do it without qualifying for loans, without putting money up. It's all true, and I map it out in that book step by step. I also want you to pay attention to the chapters on marketing and online marketing. And maybe you've got a business or an idea that you want to launch, but you just never have known how to do it. We're going to give you all kinds of real-life strategies on how to start marketing your idea to generate revenue and start generating equity in your own business. We're also going to show you there's a whole chapter on how to use the media to build your brand, to build your business, your idea, or maybe it's a cause. Maybe you've got a specific cause. If you can get the media on your side, you can have anything you want if the media is on your side. And with these kind of strategies, I brought in a guy that helped me write the chapter. He's been working with people for 20 years all over the country on how to get media. He's helped me get radio interviews and tons of articles. And I've blown up my brand online and a lot of other places within a couple-year period by understanding media strategies. I share those with you in an entire chapter. And last but not least, you can increase your net income if you can get rid of your debt. And you want to get rid of your debt as quickly as possible. So there's a very simple software program that you can get more information on at our website that I use. I've had clients use it all over the country, getting tremendous results. And it maximizes every nickel that comes into your life. And yet it's very simple to use, very flexible to use. You will absolutely love it. We're going to talk a little bit more about it with the debt gear. All right, so we just got through covering our income. How could we make more money? All right, because guys, without the proper income, you don't sleep good at night. You're always worried about paying bills. You don't have a life of abundance. So if your income is too low right now and you're struggling, you got to take a little bit of a chance, read our book, and start to get involved with what we tell you to do in that book. You can really go out there and double, triple, quadruple your income depending on where it is now. And you could do that in not that long a time frame. All right. Second gear is investments. We're going to show you how to invest in several different kinds of real estate, from flipping houses and doing it properly, not like on TV. The people on TV, they're very educated. They know what they're doing. They know how to flip houses. But you have to understand, those shows are not built as educational tools. They're built as entertainment. All right, so it's not really the way to do the business, and they know that. But they have to create a very entertaining show so people will tune in. But please don't take it that that's the way to flip houses. We'll show you step by step. I flipped millions of dollars of real estate. I've taught others to do the same. You can do the exact same thing. I'm going to show you how to do it with fixer-uppers, no equity houses, little equity houses. If you have some resources, you could buy cash flow real estate all over the country. We've got teams that are already in place. Markets like Metro Detroit, markets like Florida, several markets in Florida, Las Vegas, North Carolina, South Carolina. We've got teams already in place that will help you own real estate there and provide turnkey solutions if that's something that you want to do. All right. We're going to also show you how you could buy tax liens and tax deeds all over the country, how you might want to consider owning mobile home parks, and we've got people set up that will help you do those things if that's something you choose to do. We're also going to show you how to own any of those investments inside the self-directed IRA. Did you know that your IRA can own houses? It can do flips. It can do lease options. It can do almost anything in the real estate world can be done outside your, or I should say inside your IRA. And by doing it inside your IRA, the profits become tax deferred or tax free if it's a Roth IRA. We have a whole chapter on how to use a self-directed IRA. You can immediately roll over funds that you've got in a more traditional IRA. You could roll over all or part of that account to a self-directed IRA. Now you're qualified to own real estate and do different things with it. You can really grow that account at a way faster rate than you're going to be able to do just owning mutual funds. Okay, but you're going to have to be, that's for the more active investor. That's for people that want to have specialized knowledge and are willing to put in a little bit of time and work with people to be able to get these things set up. It's well worth your time and effort. But again, it's not set it and forget it. You're going to have to work a little bit at it. We're going to show you how to make private loans with your money. There's a multi-billion-dollar industry called private lending that you can either borrow money or you can loan money. All right, we're going to show you how to borrow from existing private lenders, how to create your own private bank in your own backyard. And we're aligned with a national private money lender who wants to fund your deals. They have to be good deals. There's got to be equity in them, and there's certain things. But we're lined up that we can actually help you put together your rehab deals and have some private money lined up for you. So definitely reach out to us. But on top of that, we want to show you how to build your own private money bank. So you don't need us. If you need us, great, we're happy to help. And of course, that's a business for us. But it doesn't necessarily need to be that way forever. We're going to show you how to build your own lower interest rate private bank. You can also do that using your IRAs. All right? I'm also going to show you how to have some set it and forget it money. And that's basically how to turn an IRA or into old 401k. We're going to show you how to turn it into a lifetime guaranteed paycheck machine with zero effort on your part. This is what we call set it and forget it. There's a whole chapter in Wealth Without Stocks or Mutual Funds showing you how to do exactly that. Okay, so the investment gear is just one gear, but it's an important gear, and there's a lot of things that are in that gear. So what's an investment? Anything that can go up or down in value. Okay. Now, truthfully, the last point, what we espouse that you might do with some of your IRA or 401k, that's actually going to be guaranteed. It actually should be in the guaranteed gear, as I'm looking at this now. But it is what it is. But most investments, you can either gain money or lose money, and you don't want to have all your money in any one gear. Okay. Now, onto the guaranteed income. How to make sure you've got enough guaranteed income in retirement. So there's going to come a time, no matter how successful your job is or your business is, that you're going to want to pull back, and you're going to at least maybe want to do it part-time, want to do some traveling, spend some time with kids, grandkids, and really enjoy, the zest of life, you need income to do all that. So guaranteed income is the income that's going to come in after your job or business. That could come from Social Security. Show you exactly how to find out how much you think you're going to be able to qualify for Social Security. Now, of course, that's a program in flux. Some people are telling it's going to be bankrupt in 15 or 20 years. They're going to have to make changes to it. I believe it will be around. It might not be around in the same format. And we don't know exactly how much we're going to be able to get, but there's going to be some paycheck coming from there for most of us. So you might as well find out how much that's projected to be. And then you better start building other revenue streams that are going to be guaranteed income that you can count on. All right? Could be from the sale of your business. All right? You could sell your business and generate a revenue stream with that. You can make a big chunk of money, sell a business for a couple $1 million, put that couple $1 million into a fixed product that's going to produce lifetime income. That's a way to create your own private pension, basically. We can show you how to do that. And we not only show you how to do those things, we're actually set up to help you do 75% of the things we talk about in the book. Either we or some joint venture partners we have are already set up to help you implement this stuff. So this isn't just a book of, yeah, it was a good book, it's educational. The education's worthless if you don't do anything with it. All right, we're also going to show you how possibly network marketing in the 21st century could actually be an avenue of income for some people. That business has totally changed with the technology. I've got several friends of mine who are doing really well with it, and it's a viable, legitimate way to create revenue, and it's a viable way to market products and services. So I'm not saying it's for everybody, but if you ever thought, boy, if I could just make an extra $500 a month or $1,000 a month in retirement, that would help me out so much, you can do that all day long with that particular kind of business. And we've got some ways set up to help you do that. Cash and liquidity, where to put money that it'll grow. Well, you're going to get a lot of information from us on how to use properly designed whole life insurance. And you have to underline properly designed, because 97% of the insurance products out there truly aren't properly designed to be a bank, to have liquidity, to have all the things that we talk about. I've got entire presentations just on using whole life insurance. In fact, if you go to our website, you're going to be able to tune into a live webinar we do twice a week, and you're going to be able to tune in and send people to it, and we'll show you exactly how those products work. Can't go into it now, but we've got other training set up for you. But that's a great place to keep cash and liquid money, emergency money. Rather than let most of it sit in the bank and get no growth, you're actually going to be able to get good tax-free growth and have liquidity and all kinds of other benefits you'll see when you tune in for those webinars. How to use lines of credit and there's to be able to grow wealth. Yes, you can use lines of credit to grow wealth. You can also, there's a program available to, not everybody, but some people in certain states, that you could actually have people buy into your existing property and have them participate in any future equity that you might have. Meanwhile, they're going to give you money today that there's no interest rate associated with it, but they're buying into future equity in your property. You can take that money, do fantastic things with it, and sell a portion of your equity that's going to happen in the future. Could be quite powerful if you have any interest in things like that. That's an advanced strategy. We're actually set up and authorized to make those kinds of transactions for people all over the country. So if you want some more information on that, number one, get the book, because we do talk about it more in there, much more information in the book, and then reach out to us after you've read the book. Debt elimination. There's an old saying, $1 million in debt is $1 million in net. That's an old real estate investment axiom. The only problem is $1 million in debt. To get it to $1 million in net, you got to get it paid off. And so any debt that you have, if you can get it paid off quicker, you're automatically creating wealth, and you're increasing the amount of net income you have. So if you can take a 30-year mortgage and pay it off in 10 years and not have to increase your monthly payment, would you be interested in that? Of course, it sounds too good to be true, but it's not. It's simple math, and it's using a piece of technology that can help you do that, pay off cars in a fraction of the time. I've had clients that were on pace to pay off mortgages in 28 years that all of a sudden were on pace to pay them off in 5 years without increasing their monthly payment. Guys, technology's changed everything, and it's also changed money, and it's changed the calculation of money. So we've got training videos on our site for a software program that we're proud to represent. We're a joint venture relationship with the company that put it together. We're really excited. I've used it. I own it personally. So almost everyone, that should be a centerpiece for what you're doing, to use this particular software program to maximize every dollar that comes into your life. So ideally, what you want to have happen is any money that comes into your life is either going to gain interest for you or it's going to cancel out interest for you. And that's even money that's only going to be in your life maybe for 10 days. Maybe, money came in, but it's got to go out to pay bills. We've all got to pay bills. But during the 10 days that you had that money before you paid the bills, could it have worked for you? Well, putting it in a checking account, the answer is no. Most of it's not going to work for you. Using this software program will tell you how to use all your accounts and focus your money in one spot and really eliminate your debt quicker and build wealth faster. Long-term care gear. All right, guys, wishing is not a plan. So if we're not going to wish and we want to plan, we've got two options. You could buy a long-term care insurance policy, which become quite pricey, especially the older you are, they get pretty expensive. There's also a thing that almost nobody tells you about called asset-based long-term care. You could reposition a portion of your assets into very specifically designed products that will give you long-term care protection, will give you protection if you need to have a home health care come in and help you perform some daily duties. It's going to provide protection to be able to do that, and it's going to make sure that you're not going to have to cannibalize all of your other assets to be able to pay for long-term care. There's other options other than hoping or an expensive monthly long-term care package. There's asset-based long-term care. We'll educate you with it, and we can help you set it up as well. So don't let that gear, you could spend a whole lifetime building all your other gears and stopping your wealth drains, and all of a sudden long-term care, if you get an extended illness, can gobble them all up and really play havoc on an estate. And you don't work all your life to be able to, because you have to pay a long-term care facility. There's other options we can help. Last but not least of the gears is legacy. What do you want to leave behind? Now, not only in money, but in education. And what would that money do? Would you set up a foundation? Do you have a charity that's near and dear to your heart? Could you make sure your kids and grandkids' college is paid for, or help them launch businesses with resources if they can prove they can do the business, or whatever you see fit? What's your legacy going to be? Guys, we'll show you how to structure your life that you can lead an abundant lifestyle, spend all kinds of money, and yet when you pass away, you're going to leave more money behind for your family. And that's all part of your legacy. We can help you with that. All right. So, guys, this is just a 10,000-foot overview of Wealth Without Stocks or Mutual Funds. If you've listened to this and you won't invest in the book, then you're just not who we're looking for. This book is a game changer. It is setting the financial world on its ear, because I've never seen anything put all this stuff together in one place. And it's 25 years of real world information that I've put together, and I brought some of the top people across the country to help me bring it to you. So you're going to get education on all of the topics we talked about and more, and not just the education as we talked about. You don't want to read the book and put it on your bookshelf. It's going to be a reference manual for the rest of your life, and our company is set up to help you actually do about 75% of the things that we teach inside that book. So I'm so excited to bring it to you. I'm so glad that I was at that event in New York and I got the idea to write it, and it's really a tremendous project, and I want you to have this in your hands. See, guys, my wealth is not in the book. I mean, if you spend $20 on the book, great. I'll make a couple dollars on it, but my wealth is in the client. So if we can educate people on how all these things work, and you come back to us for help, which is what we want to do, that's where my wealth is. It's not necessarily in selling the book, but really what we are, Perpetual Wealth Systems is the company. We're a financial and money education company first. We educate our clients with tons of books, online trainings, study programs, live events. So by the time you actually make a move financially, you feel really educated and in control, and you have power. And that's really what's exciting. So I want to thank you for tuning in. Go back to our website, get the book, spend a ton of time, reach out to us, and thank you so much for tuning in. This is John Jamieson with Perpetual Wealth Systems, and this has been the 10,000-foot overview of wealth without stocks or mutual funds. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you soon.